The AUG and the M16 are both very troublesome in the meta at the moment, but they're both pretty much the same thing. So a counter for one is a counter for the other. Hello everybody, I'm Raid, and today we are going to be doing exactly that. So we're going to have two little sections. We're going to have meta-like choices, and then we're going to have off-meta choices, just so there's something for everyone. And actually, by the way, the off-meta ones might actually be better for you if this meta gets any worse than it already is. Because you'll basically be making a new meta. So yes, if you do like this video, make sure you hit that like button below and consider subscribing if you're new here. Till then, let's get right on with it. So our first two counters, the non-meta and the meta one, are going to be pretty straightforward to explain. Because basically what you want is power at range, and these are what the classes give you. So for example, the meta one is going to be an FAL. Now if you can land your headshots with the FAL, or even if you're hitting the upper torso and then your next shot's hitting the head, you are going to be beaming these cunts far quicker than what they would be beaming you. So there's something for you to bear in mind there. Any recoil attachment's good on this because you're going to be challenging them at range. So, for example, I like to run my Merc foregrip because the Commando foregrip makes it worse. Monolithic, marksman, nice sight there. And 30 round mag, just because you're going up against 60 round mags a lot of the time, having a 30 round mag, it is a bit essential, especially in the long distance fights. So that's my first meta class. Just ignore the perks and grenades for now, we'll come around to that in a second. But the first one, off meta, it's going to be an Odin. Now, the Odin is really underrated, much like the Modern Warfare AUG from the last video. It's a very underrated gun and deserves a lot more praise and love than what it actually gets. And that because this is an absolute monster at killing people, especially at range. What a lot of people don't know you can do is put your gun into semi-automatic mode, and you've basically got a slightly weaker DMR at range. Really strong. But that's not where we're at. We're at about knocking the gun on full auto, getting your recoil attachments on there, and going home on these little meta slaves. Now, with the Odin as well, when you're hitting them, the reason that this is the counter, is because when you hit them, you are incurring a tremendous amount of flinch onto the M16 or onto the AUG. Now, getting hit with this weapon, like most flinches just make you, like, say for example, this is like your cursor. Sometimes it'll just make you go, oh. Getting hit by an Odin will make you go, and you're pumping all that out a couple times a second. So it's going to really make it hard for them to get a good clean shot onto you when you're hitting them with the Odin. I really enjoy using this, and when you get used to it, you will too. Like, you'll use it, and this is a slow class, admittedly. It's very slow. However, when you know you're about to get into a fight, or you know that there's a fight coming, you got it out ready, you can kind of be ready for the slow ADS time, because you can kind of sort it out there. Now, if you don't want the ADS time, what you can do is that you can, for example, take the Colossus suppressor off, and then put on, just say, your normal monolithic, or a different type of suppressor. That will significantly increase your aim down sight speed. Overall, I like the recoil control that you get using this, so I'm quite happy to use it in that capacity. I'm using the Ranger foregrip because you will be taking a few more fights at range with this gun, and it's always good to have nice, steady aim. But yeah, that's how I run this Odin. My next two options for you. Well, one of them's a joke. Which one do you think the joke is? I'll give you a second to decide there. Got the FN556 or the SOCOM M4A1. Have a little think. The joke is the is this piece of crap. Yeah, you would think that the Modern Warfare counterpart would be decent. Fully kitted out, it's actually not awful, but it's actually not great either. I've actually picked up a win with this gun in Warzone before. It was a very long video to do. It cost me 0.1 of my KD, I believe it took that long to do. But it's a mid-tier gun once it's all fully kitted out. But yeah, I'm actually going to give this a run again and see how it feels. So stay tuned for that. But the gun that we want to talk about is the M4A1 SOCOM. How the hell is this a counter, you may ask? Because this has got a much quicker time to kill and can compete at the same ranges. Much like the Odin, getting hit by this thing is going to make your screen go all over the place, even if you choose to fire it in semi-automatic mode. The real kicker here, though, is when you use this in that medium range. So in that medium gap, where it's a bit too far for an FFAR, and that's when you start to see these guns become part of the meta, this will destroy it. And I mean destroy it. The time to kill on this is roughly 400 milliseconds, which is extremely fast for any gun in the game. Now, the reason that people don't use it is because, of course, it's a SOCOM. However, when you're using this against guns that kill in, say, 800 milliseconds, and you have the attachments on here which make it so you're not missing every single shot, this can slap. If you so choose, you can take the Commando foregrip off and put yourself sleight of hand on. However, in the update that I'm making this video on, sleight of hand doesn't work. But usually that's what I would be doing. Really effective in solos and duos, this one. So if that's what you're playing, this is your counter to it. No questions asked. That is how you counter the M16 in the AUG in solos and duos. Trios, you're really pushing it. If you are going to do trios, you really need that sleight of hand working, and you really need it on. But yeah, it's a really good gun, and I actually think I'm going to do a couple of games on that. I'm tempted. We're starting to wander into the off meta now a little bit, but I'm not joking with these next two guns. The M82, when you have it fully kitted out, I don't have it fully kitted out yet, but I'm very close. This build is doing the job. I just need another attachment or two and it's fully complete. This is oppressive at any range. Basically what I need on this is the agency suppressor and I think another grip. I think I've got the right grip on, but there's another grip on here which I think gives you even better recoil. Anyways, point being, two hits with this and you are killing your target. With the rapid fire barrel on there and a couple more attachments for recoil on here, this will, it just destroys. It beams people. There's barely any recoil. It'll just absolutely slap an AUG user or M16 user clean off the face of the planet. Now, obviously it's big, it's heavy, it's slow like the Odin, but not. It's obviously a lot heavier than the Odin. However, if you're hitting people with this, they're dying. And you have one hit potential on this. Hit the head, they're dead. Straight up. I can't actually put into words how powerful of an option this is. Like, you think I'm absolutely off me rocker suggesting this. Try it. I've got a video coming out over the weekend. Try it. It's unreal. So, yeah. The next one is going to be a PKM. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is another questionable one. Modern Warfare LMGs are really powerful still. They can punch through most surfaces without a single problem and minimum damage drop-off. And with this particular build, it's actually surprisingly mobile. You think I'm talking shit? No. Like, check this out. The snatch grip, right? It gives you aim down sight speed, but apparently it takes away mobility. However, in practice, that gives you a massive reduction in your aim down sight speed. Your tac laser does the same thing. Then you've got it also gives you recoil control too, which is quite unique in regards most recoil attachments take away from your aim down sight speed. Then you've got your monolithic and your extend barrel for the recoil and range. Put a sight of your choosing on there. That will tear down people who use these guns purely because it's just relentless. Of course, you've got a standard 100 drum mag, so you can have constant pressure. But all you need to do is hit a couple of people with this. When the AUG users are hiding scared, and they say, for example, run behind a wall, or something like that, guess what you're doing? You're shooting them through that bastard wall. Pair this with a recon grenade, you're laughing. But the recon grenade's not 100% necessary, because you can just absolutely... There's a more efficient counter in terms of equipment at this range that you're going to be using that on. But really strong class that. Like, well, not that class, but really strong two options you've got there. If you want more versatility, of course, go for the PKM. If you're looking to have a sniper that can counter it at the mid-range, that's it. Like, seriously. So next we are going to talk about equipment counters. Now, the straight up smoke grenades. Smoke grenades and thermal optics are going to do the job for you. You don't need to use any of these guns that I've talked about for that. If you use any gun, you've got yourself a thermal sight on there, or you've got something regarding that, throw your smoke down and just get it used. Now, what I do, and get the habit of doing, even if they're using cold-blooded, is if you ping them, or you throw your smoke down, and just before it puffs, you ping them, you don't have to be looking through the smoke, trying to find the white people, as in the white highlighted people. You just basically need to, or the yellow highlighted people, actually, because you got that NVG scope. You can just basically pick them straight off, get the ping on them. You know exactly where you're looking in the smoke, and you can pop them off straight away. So handy using smokes, which means, of course, your restock's going to be handy here, because not many people run smokes. So smoke, restock, really good combo at counter in this at range. You can throw it on yourself, you can throw it on them. You can do a lot of things you can do with smoke. Just saying. Just saying. So, yeah, that's my equipment counter for that. In terms of your field upgrade counters, isn't really that much you can do against it. You can maybe try and give yourself a barrier. Stopping power is good on anything. Of course, sneaking up on them with dead silence is good too. There's no specific counter for this in the field upgrade section. But yes, smoke grenades is amazing for dealing with these meta slaves. Right, so we are going to be talking about the next one real quick. But first, we've got the AMAX. AMAX is really decent at the medium range. Obviously, the longer range, you're going to struggle a little bit more. But in the medium range, if you've got an AMAX, you're going to be competing quite well against the FFAR and the M16. Obviously, if you're close, the FFAR is going to absolutely pummel you. If you're too far, the M16 is going to absolutely pummel you. However, if you're in that nice little mid-range gap, good shout for you. But the class that I want to show you next is going to surprise you. And it is going to be the ABR and the Bruin. You're thinking, what on earth is this cretin showing me? Well, let me show you. Oh, cool. The framing issue seems to have worked. So, the ABR, at the longer ranges, this is going to do absolute bits for you. Much like the Rytec, not the Rytec, much like the Rytec clone. This is going to help you at the longer ranges. So the medium ranges, you're going to struggle a bit, but you're not useless. You've got two tap potential. If they've taken any damage from anywhere else, if you hit them in the head, they're dead. It's also quite a good spammable gun, and much like a few other guns that we've talked about, if you're hitting them with this gun, they are wobbling all over the shop. Really good option. Though it uses sniper ammo and it's not that practical, I still love it anyway. But if you like using this particular gun, this is actually a strong pick in the meta at the minute. Obviously, it's not a meta gun, but it's a strong pick in the current meta, just purely because of the attributes of what it brings up to you. The M16 and the AUG, if they shoot first, you're dead. But you can pick them off in a team fight very quickly with this, especially if you're hitting the head. Same goes with the SKS as well. If you want to use that, get that used. So the crack is EBR, SKS, like Modern Warfare. These will really tear them down. Not so much the Cold War ones, just because they have had a lot of nerfs, but this still has its raw power, and I think you're gonna. It's a hidden gem. It really is. Like, people don't really think much of this gun, but when they actually use it and they've had a couple of games with it, they're like, yeah. I genuinely believe this gun would be meta if it had AR ammo. I really do. It's that strong. So give it a go. If your teammates using AR SMG, get them to carry sniper ammo for you as well. This is a gem. Like, it really is. And the SKS too. The next gun here is going to be the Bruin. In the slightly meta section. Much like the PKM, it can shoot through walls. I'll put FMG on it, so it can shoot through walls without any issue. I'm using this as a short range. In this build, I'm using it as a short range weapon, just because you can use the Bruin and the EBR together. So this is like the short range build, but if you want to compete like in the long range, because this will do medium range too, I just simply take that off, pop that on, pop that on. I'm going to try to trade you for that. I'm going to put the commando on there, sorry. Got really good recoil control on that. I know it says that you get recoil reduction with that 60 round mag. It's not that much. You can deal with it really easily. So just get that used. Likewise, if you don't want to deal with any additional recoil reduction, you just simply take it off. And you can put, say, attack laser on there. Or you can just put a recoil control grip on there if you want even more recoil control. Makes a difference. So just something for you to think about. But guys, that is the end of the video. The counters for this are a lot more straightforward than the FFAR. So yeah, if you do enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button below and consider subscribing. Also, the next counter video that we're going to do is going to be for the Groza, as that is going to be the next gun in the meta, I think. I think that gun's going to be the next meta gun. I think that's going to be the next go-to gun. Just starting to slowly see it more and more now. I've got a couple of Grozas on my classes. So, yeah, just something for you to think about. But if you did enjoy the video, like I say, like, subscribe, comment, all that crap. I want to know what your counters to this are. And, yeah, inspire me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.